People who visit Goa feel one thing, but people who grow up here feel very different. Most people think Goa's party culture is about alcohol and clubs, but that's mostly what tourists see. For people who grow up here, celebrations look very different. And once you notice that difference, you start to understand why this place feels the way it does. When people outside Goa talk about it, they usually describe it as a party state. They think of nightlife, of drinking, of clubs, of freedom without limits. And that image isn't completely false. That version of Goa exists, but it exists mainly for people who come here temporarily, people who are visiting, people who are on holiday. But that's not really how most locals actually live. Most Goans don't really go clubbing, not regularly, not as a lifestyle. And it's not because clubbing is forbidden or because people here are conservative. It's simply because celebrations for locals happens in very different spaces. Spaces that are familiar, spaces that are shared, spaces that include everyone. For most Goans, drinking and celebration are tied to occasions, weddings, family functions, village feasts, church celebrations, community events. These are not private or hidden moments. They are open, they are collective. Elders are present, children are present, neighbors are present. You're not disappearing into a crowd of strangers. You're celebrating among people who already know your name. And that changes the energy completely. A good example of this is something that happens every New Year in most Goan villages. It's called a serenade. It's not advertised, there are no tickets, there's no venue. Usually, it's just a slow moving truck with loud music blasting from speakers, rolling through the village streets. And that's all it takes. Behind that truck, the entire village follows. You'll see young people dancing. You'll see children running around. You'll see parents. You'll see senior citizens. Everyone moving together, street by street, house by house. It's loud, it's chaotic in its own way, and it's joyful. But it's also completely visible. Yes, people drink. Yes, people dance. And yes, the music is loud. But all of it happens in front of family, in front of elders, in front of people who've known you your entire life. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is anonymous. And because of that, nothing really spirals. In many places, behavior is controlled by rules, by security, by policing. Here, behavior is regulated by presence. When everyone can see you, when everyone knows you, there's a natural sense of responsibility. Not fear, responsibility. You're free, but you're also aware. That presence creates a quiet sense of safety, especially for women. Not because Goa is perfect, not because nothing ever goes wrong, but because celebration happens inside community, not outside it. And that difference is something you can feel even if you can't always explain it. One thing people don't often talk about is how relationships start in places like this, at weddings, at serenades, at community events. It's normal for young people to talk to each other, to get to know someone, to gauge interest, to see if there's a connection. But again, all of this happens in full view of the community. Everyone sees who's talking to whom. Everyone knows who met where. Nothing is secret. And because of that, there's a quiet sense of accountability. If a boy shows interest in a girl, he can't just disappear after a few dates. Not because someone is enforcing it, but because people know, families know, neighbors know, the community knows. That visibility changes how seriously people treat each other. In many Goan villages, this is how couples actually meet. Not through anonymity, not through endless dating cycles, but slowly in familiar spaces, often with the understanding that this could lead somewhere. Which is why many people here grow up seeing fewer breakups, less emotional volatility, and fewer casual exits. Not because people are restricted, but because relationships like celebrations happen inside the community. In most other parts of India, partying is about escape, escaping rules, escaping identity, escaping familiarity. In large parts of India, partying itself is still taboo. So when people finally do party, it often happens far away from everyday life, away from family, away from neighbors, away from anyone who knows them. And because it's hidden, because it's detached from the community, it often becomes excessive. Drinking too much, pushing the limits, losing control. In Goa, celebration works very differently. Here, celebrations happen inside the community. You don't step out of who you are to celebrate. You celebrate as the same person you are at home. And when you grow up seeing fun organized this way, your relationship with fun changes. Fun doesn't feel forbidden, so it doesn't need to explode. It doesn't become excessive. It doesn't turn toxic. It stays contained, familiar, and normal. Fun doesn't feel dangerous. Drinking doesn't feel like losing control. Celebration doesn't feel like rebellion. It feels normal, grounded, contained. So Goa doesn't feel like a playground when you're from here. It doesn't feel like an escape. It feels like home. This isn't about saying one way is better than another. It's just about understanding why a place feels the way it does. Goa feels the way it does because of everyday life here. The people you grow up with, the way celebrations happen in public, the fact that families and neighbors are always around. That everyday structure shapes how the place feels, not just beaches, not just parties, not just weekend visit. And that's why Goa feels different when you're from here. Not better, just different.